Shall we speak to David Spencer? He's the head of crime and justice at the think tank Policy Exchange. David, thank you very much for joining us on this. It's interesting to see what's happened over the last few weeks. Shabana Mahmood made it very clear that she didn't approve of these sentencing guidelines. She then got in touch with the Sentencing Council. They've just refused her point blank to revise or make any changes. Where does she go now?
Good afternoon. Well, it's pretty remarkable when you read the letters that the chairman of the Sentencing Council has sent back to the Lord Chancellor. It is pretty remarkable. And in terms of where she goes now, her options are pretty limited. She and the Prime Minister have said that all options are open. The reality is that the government either accepts these guidelines that's coming in on Tuesday, as you've said, or they legislate. And the options really aren't much more than that. And the reality is that there is a far broader issue. As important as the two-tiered justice element of all of this is, there's an even broader policy issue here, because actually what's going on is that when we look at broader matters of policy, which are rightly the purview of government ministers and parliament, we're seeing unelected arm's-length bodies frustrating the will of an elected government on a question of overarching policy. And that is remarkable. We're not talking about individual sentencing by judges, which is, rightly, judicial independence is really important. What we're talking about is overarching policy. And the fact that the government is not able to get its way on this is pretty remarkable.
But, I mean, it is clear why the government can't get its own way on this. I mean, it's the law. And the government has refused to change the law. It's been the law since 2010 that the Sentencing Council sets the sentencing guidelines. Politicians can write as many letters as they want, they can scream and shout and make speeches, but unless they actually change the law, it will continue to be the Sentencing Council that sets this.
Well, you're completely correct that it is the law, and as you say, it was brought in. They started their work in 2010 as a result of the Coroners and Justice Act in 2009, which was brought in by the last Labour government. So you're right. This is an organisation which has been set up in statute. So the government are left, if they want to see this guideline scrapped, they are left with one option, and that ultimately is legislating to do so. Now, whether they choose to do so is obviously a matter for them. The other question will be, do they choose to allow the Sentencing Council to continue business? Are they going to even stick with the Sentencing Council, or will they choose a different route? But certainly this is going to have to be something that's dealt with in Parliament. I think the other interesting thing is that actually underneath this is a cross-party issue. Actually, although there's all the ding-dong in Parliament and whatnot between the Conservative Party and the Labour Party, actually there's a remarkable degree of agreement between the Labour government and the Conservative opposition here. This isn't really a party political issue, because actually both sides here in Parliament think that something needs to be done, and actually the Sentencing Council have overreached their mandate here.
Well, David Spencer, on that note, thank you very much indeed. Hope you have a nice weekend. Head of Crime and Justice at Policy Exchange.